You know you should move on, but you don't. You keep thinking about it. You revisit the old memories, the old places, the old messages. Sometimes you even go back and look at things you promised yourself you wouldn't look at again. And somehow you end up right back where you started. But why? Why is it so difficult to let go of something that is already gone? Why does that person, that friendship, that old version of your life still have such a strong hold on you? What exactly are we holding on to? The person? The memories? Or maybe the hope that somehow everything will go back to the way it was? Because moving on sounds easy when somebody else says it. Just move on. Yeah, thanks. If it were that easy, we would have done it already. But sometimes you don't want to move on. Because moving on means accepting that something is actually over. And it's over. Those words hurt. Because once you accept that, you can't keep telling yourself that maybe tomorrow they'll come back. Maybe tomorrow things will be different. Maybe tomorrow you'll get the message you've been waiting for. Maybe tomorrow you'll finally get the life you thought you were going to have. But tomorrow keeps coming, and you're still standing in the same place. So stop for a second. Seriously, look around you right now. Can you breathe? Can you drink some cold water? Can you walk outside? Can you feel the air? Can you hear the world around you? If the answer is yes, then you're still here. And maybe it's time to start living what's in front of you, instead of constantly visiting what is behind you. Because I'm not telling you to forget. I'm not telling you that it didn't matter. I'm not telling you that you shouldn't miss someone. Of course you can miss them. You can love somebody and still let them go. You can remember something beautiful without trying to live inside that memory forever. And I had to learn that myself. There was the time when I thought maybe one day they'll come back. Maybe we would relive everything. Maybe we would become better version of ourselves. Maybe everything would finally work out the way I imagined it. And I held on to that thought for way too long. I kept looking backward, waiting for something that wasn't coming. And the worst part, while I was waiting for my past to come back, I was missing my future because every day I spent looking backward was another day I wasn't using to build something new. And eventually I realized something. Moving on didn't mean that what happened didn't matter. It meant that I mattered too. My future mattered, my happiness mattered, the person I could become mattered. And when I finally started letting go, I started finding things I never would have found if I stayed stuck. I met people, I experienced things, I became someone different, and eventually I found myself next to the person I had always dreamed of having in my life. And I don't think I would have gotten there if I kept waiting for my past to return. That's the scary thing about refusing to move on. You think you're protecting yourself, but sometimes you're actually keeping yourself from discovering what's next. So maybe you don't need to throw everything away. Maybe you don't need to delete every photo. Maybe you don't need to pretend you never cared. Maybe you just need to stop going back every single day, hoping the ending will somehow change. It won't. And I know that's painful, but there is something beautiful about accepting it. Because once you stop asking what if, you finally have space to ask what's next. What's next for you? Who are you going to become? Who are you going to meet? What are you going to build? Where are you going to go? You don't know, and that's okay, because the future hasn't happened yet. And maybe, just maybe, there is something waiting for you that you couldn't even imagine while you were still holding on to the past. So if you're watching this and you're stuck on someone or something, please don't hate yourself for it. You're a human. You cared. You loved. You lost something. Of course it hurts, but don't let something that already ended take the rest of your life with it. Take the memories, take the lessons, take the love, and leave the pain where it belongs, behind you. Because you still have a life to live, and maybe it's time to finally turn around and walk forward. Even if you're scared, even if you don't know where you're going, Just take the first step. You don't have to forget your past. You just have to stop living there. Move on. Not because it didn't matter, but because you matter too.